As someone who has seen every Adrien Brody movie, I feel fairly comfortable in declaring that he is an actor of immense talent and emotional depth. What he seems especially skilled at is conveying the suffering of his characters. Because of that, his performances tend to leave his audience feeling a little melancholy. Today, we are going to talk about what makes Adrien Brody so good at breaking our hearts. I thought I would give you some examples of what I mean by breaking our hearts. We'll start at the beginning. When he was in Home at Last, there's a scene where his character Billy is the only child left on the train platform after everyone else has been taken by families. And there's just a look in his eyes that is not only sadness, but also kind of an acceptance or an understanding where he feels like, yeah, I don't blame you for not picking me, and he didn't say a word. It's just his face. Another example is Love the Hard Way. His character Jack is witnessing his girlfriend slash ex-girlfriend taking on a client, and he just kind of slides down the wall of the bathroom that she's in, and he just breaks down.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half.
And of course, The Pianist is a good example. I mean, pretty much, three-quarters of the movie is heartbreaking. I believe that one of Adrien's biggest strengths is his ability to be subtle. A lot of actors tend to rely on grand gestures and yelling and, their catchphrases or big action scenes. But with Adrien, I mean, he's had his moments of yelling and action, of course. But with Adrien overall, it's just more subtle. It's more pulled back. He's less Al Pacino and more John Cazale. Every article or video you see about John Cazale, they always say something like, oh, he could break your heart with just a look. And I found myself saying, yeah, just like Adrien. And then video idea. So here we are. Adrien has an ability to convey inner conflict and, moral dilemmas and that kind of thing without really speaking about it. You can just look at him and tell, oh, he's going through something. And I think that's what really clicks with audiences is that Adrien plays people. He's not so much a character. He's more fleshed out, more relatable, more real. So even when the character is a flawed person, you still care about them and you want to know what's going to happen to them, and you're emotionally invested. And I think that's part of why he's so good at making us cry, because it feels genuine. I think another big strength for Adrien is his versatility. He's been in a variety of roles. He's not typecast into one particular thing. And I think that makes it far more interesting. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't really want to watch an actor play the same person 60 times. Adrien really, as I said, he inhabits his characters. He becomes them. So when you watch something like Predators, followed by something like Dummy and then Detachment, they're just so different. And the experiences you have as an audience member are so different. And it's remarkable. It really is. I know I'm biased because he's my favorite actor. He draws from his own experiences, but he also kind of collects experiences from around him. He absorbs things, and I think he has like a nice bank of things he can pull from to better embody a character. For instance, for his character of Laszlo in The Brutalist, He drew a lot of inspiration from his grandfather, who came from Hungary around that same era that Laszlo did. Laszlo's accent is also based on Adrien's grandfather, the phrasing and the expressions and things like that. So that really helped him become Laszlo. So I think Adrien's commitment to being authentic is what draws in the audience and makes us so emotional when we watch him. You connect with it because he connects with it. Lastly, I think one of Adrien's big strengths is his looks. And I don't mean because he's handsome, I mean because he knows how to use his body and his face. And I think a lot of that stems from growing up with Sylvia Plahe as his mother. She's a photographer, and he was her favorite subject. I think he still is. So, he became very comfortable in front of the camera. He learned how to convey emotion without words. You can look at a still photograph of Adrien and know exactly what emotion he was going for, and you feel it. And it's just a still photo. I don't know how he does that, but it's magical, really. His ability to convey vulnerability through his body language is just wonderful. For instance, to use the brutalist as an example again, there's a scene where Laszlo's cousin Attila basically tells him, you can't be here anymore. You have to leave. So we see Laszlo kind of processing that, and he just sort of curls up and leans against the wall. You can see it in his eyes that what do I do now? And it is heartbreaking. And I think the fact that Adrien doesn't look like a bunch of other actors. I've noticed a trend lately where there's a lot of sameness. And with Adrien, he's unique. And I think that really does help. I mean, Adrien doesn't look like he just rolled off a Hollywood assembly line or something. So overall, I would say Adrien's ability to break hearts boils down to his subtlety, his versatility, his skill, obviously, his ability to connect with his roles, and of course, that face. So I would say all of these elements combined to create kind of a perfect storm, and I think Adrien's work is destined to leave an impact, on the cinematic landscape because it's just so real. And he plays humans. And I think that's how he's so good at breaking our hearts. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.